Hi, this is Paul Marsalik with Management Matters with the second entry in our series, The Real Cost of Turnover. Today I'm going to talk about the real cost of turnover for managers. And, we talk a lot about turnover and the cost of companies. We talk about the dollars for every time you need to replace a person. But this series is going to be a little bit different. As you recall, in the first entry, I talked about the real cost of turnover to the person. If somebody's going to leave your company after you've welcomed them in, after you've tried to help them belong and become part of your team, part of your work family, they're going to have to go look for a job. They're going to have to apply. They're going to have to come up with references. They're going to have to do a resume. Then they have to figure out a way to get to the interviews. And after the interviews, then they're going to have to consider the offers they get and wonder where they want to go to work and rearrange schedules if they do for childcare, getting kids to school. Then they may have to buy brand new uniforms because they might have a different policy at the place that they're going to. They're going to have to change their benefits, their 401k, their flexible spending plan. Nobody does this for 25 cents an hour. But that's the cost of the person, and that's just a lot of aggravation, like I mentioned earlier in the previous section. When they do this, when somebody goes through that to leave your organization, what they're really doing is firing you. They're saying, "You're fired as my boss. I'm disengaged. I don't want to work here anymore. It's not worth it to me. I'm going to go do something else." So what about the cost of the manager? That's the cost of the person. The cost of the manager. Now, every time somebody leaves, the first thing, I think there's an emotional cost. You got to wonder, what in the world happened here? I had all the best intentions. I welcomed this person into our work family. I've introduced them to all the people that work here. We got them trained. We onboarded them. And you're probably wondering, what in the world happened? What went wrong? Why are they leaving? You might know, but it's after all the investment you make in people, it makes you wonder. But that's not the worst of it. The next part is the process you have to go through to replace them. Oh, sure, you got to get a rec filled out and then signed and approved by who knows how many people. Then you have to make sure that there's money in the budget. Then you have to find somebody that's got the skills. Then they have to interview well, and they might have to get through a talent assessment to show that they have the innate qualities and talent to do the work, which is what we do at Talent Plus. Then you might have to get your team set aside to do some behaviorally based questions or some peer interviewing with them. At that point, then you're going to have to meet with HR and talk about the candidates and who you want. You're going to have to go back through all the interviews and score them. Then you're going to have to bring somebody on and schedule them. Then you have to get them trained, get them a preceptor. Think about what happens here when you get turnover. When people leave your organization, the cost of the manager is tremendous, and it takes a lot of time. It's not just the time you spend in the interview. There's just a lot of effort that goes into this. So as a manager, every time you turn somebody over, what you're doing is you're committing hours of your time away from your employees, away from your patients, away from your peers, away from the people that really make an impact in a positive way to your organization, to try to find somebody new to fill the spot of somebody that probably shouldn't have left in the first place if they were treated well. So, in summary, there's a huge cost of turnover to the person. If somebody is leaving, they're firing us, is what they're doing. And the second thing is when they leave, we're ending up holding the bag because we got to figure out a way to replace them. So, in the next section, what we're going to talk about is not the cost of turnover to the person or to the manager. We're going to talk about how turnover affects the team, the people on the team, and other caregivers. And that's a serious cost of turnover as well, and we'll talk about that in part 3 of Management Matters, The Real Cost of Turnover.